So I'm back, and let's go to underscore headers. That is an auxiliary function. And what we're going to do here is to import. So let me copy. Well, let's add it by hand. Let's say import, and what we're going to import is our authentication file or service. You can call it however you want or whatever you want. So this is here on inside out, and it's the out.js file. So we need from this the out service. Remember that we created this authentication service that is an object, and inside this object we're just going to exporting the login function. You can see that the logout, okay, the current user that is unobservable, and the getter that is going to respond with the object value. Okay, so after this is going to be this export function out header. Why we need this? Well, it's not like this. We need this because we're using out in this case, okay, to manage the JSON Web Token. So in case of Angular, we had this or we have a package that allows us to set the headers for us. We just install those, and the headers are already set. You just need to whitelist or blacklist the routes that you don't, or the domains that you don't want to be checking for the or adding the authentication header, and that is an easy fix. You just manage your responses from the API, store your JSON Web Token, and with every subsequent request, you have the authentication header inside the request headers. Okay, so in React we don't have that, or I didn't find anything for that, so that's why we're doing this by hand. So we're going to say constant current user equals to authentication service that current user value. Okay, so we're going to get this current user value that, remember, is an observable. Right now we can access this because it's being exported, and also the application now is going to check for the state or the value of this property. Okay, so it's a constant stream that we are going to be able to check. Now, if current user and current user token, and current user that token, where this thing is coming from, the response is going to get this token. Okay, you can check the API. I think I have that. So with the token, or with the response, we're going to have a token, and you will see that when we make our requests. Okay, so bear with me here. So if the current user and user token are not null, we're going to return. So I'm not going to type this. Well, let's type it. Fuck it. The content type. Remember that this is content for each subsequent request. So it doesn't have anything to do with this, okay, that you can see that we are setting the content type. This is in order to fetch the token. So this is the subsequent request because we are going to send information to the API. So we need this application JSON, and this authorization If that is that okay, authorization with the backticks bearer and the current user token. Not roken, but token. Okay. So if these two are set and not null, we're going to respond, or we're going to append the content type application JSON and the authorization. You can also add here other ones, okay, other headers, and else since we need to send information and test it, I'm just going to return, without the token, of course, the content type application JSON, okay, because we need to send the information still to Node so we can check that, but in case we don't need or we don't have the authorization, we just avoid adding the authorization. You can deal with this however you want, but I'm saying this because we're going to test also without the authorization header. So this is actually done. This one is also done. And let's build the navigation. So we're going to import some things here. React, use effect, use state from React, link and with router from React router DOM, and authentication service from our authentication file. And we're going to say constant nav equals, we're going to pass the props and export default with router nav. Okay, and let's actually build the navigation. So I'm going to, I just received a message today about how to handle some things. Okay, today is Monday, 07 from October 2019, of course. I'm going to show a little thing that you can use in order to avoid the loading that happens or the re-render that happens in navigation. So this is just a simple thing that you can do. So let's say use effect. Sorry, and that's why we have the on line 8 the timer. So this is going to check something. We can say console.log or authentication service that current user value to see what we have, and let's say if authentication service that current user value, if that is set, then we're going to set user state to the authentication service that current user value. Okay, after this we're going to set a timeout to render the sign in login. Set timer true because we set that to false first, and we need to add, let's add 500 milliseconds, and that should be good. Here we're going to create a constant logout that is going to be equals to an async function, and we can say console.log. Am I recording? Yeah. Console.log logout user set user state to null and authentication service that we can call this logout. function. Okay, you can even say await if you want. And after that, I think that's why I use async, but it's working without it. Props, that history, that replace with the main. Or we should say login, although it should be handled by our out service or out file. And now we're going to build the buttons. So let's say buttons if timer. So we're going to set this in order to render the buttons, and inside this the user state is not equals to null. Let's add it like this. Buttons, and I'm just going to copy this. Let's say I don't make the same mistake. Let's see, I mean, if I don't make the same mistake I used to do, that is copying the parentheses. Okay, so this is done. This is the logout function, the logout button, sorry, not function, and else. So if the user state is null, we're going to set, if not null, sorry, meaning that we have the user, we're going to show the logout button, and else, I'm just going to copy all this. That is the same. We're going to say just the login. You can add the sign in here, but it was redundant because it was the same thing. I'm not adding anything to the database or anything like that. So we also have the do I have the sign in here? I think I only have the login. It's taking a bit to load. The sign up. So you would check, or you would create a new user here and assign the token after that, and that's it. So we have that. And this is that. We can say return here, and I'm just going to copy this. So this is essentially the same menu that we worked or that we built in the last tutorials about React and Firebase. So let's add a tab there, and let's add another tab there. I don't know why one was okay wider than the other one. Okay, so save that. Is this not the... Oh yeah, because inside the sorry, no, app.js, we need to import the nav and actually add it just like that. And now it's compiling, and it's still compiling. Okay, so you can see we have this. It says we have a token. Oh, because I think it was the same domain, the same, and it already had the JSON Web Token added in the local storage. So that's why it said that we have the JSON Web Token now. So you can see this null is actually what is checking in Node.js 12. Where is it? It's checking for the current user value that in this case is null, and once we add the request, it should respond the token, and that is going to replace this value. So right now we still don't have anything. I can type whatever I want, and it's only going to respond with data. So you saw that even though, because it shows us the logout button, because we had a token assigned, and you saw that it worked. So I'm going to show you something. Let's refresh this, and it takes a little bit to load, and also this should be here, but I didn't bother with the styling, because why? So it kind of bothers here because we don't have a styling, so this should go here, and it's only going to appear when the timer runs out. That is this 5,000 5,000 no, 500 milliseconds. Okay, so it does, you don't, once we get the logout, it doesn't look like it shows the login first and then renders the logout. Okay, so it does that in the background, and after those 500 or a second, it's already done with the render, so you can see that. Okay, let's finish this. So to go to the main, and let's finish this. So we're going to import two things here, because we need two things here: the authentication service and the authentication header. Okay, remember the authentication header is coming from these headers, and the service is going to give us access to the current user value. So we're going to set the use effect. So this is going to handle the redirection, or it's going to block. I think you can do this with suspense. I haven't used suspense, so it doesn't show. It shows a loading spinner instead of kind of what I'm going to show you in a second. So we're going to do essentially the same. We're going to check. I'm just going to copy this because we did this in the nav. Checking the out service. So we're going to check if the out service, if we have the out service, or sorry, if we don't have the out service, we're going to push to the login. So let's save this. And if I try to click, well, if I click this, it's going to redirect us to this login. I think with suspense you can, once you click, it should show a little spinner and then go back. I'm not sure about that. I haven't used suspense, so I should be using though. But well, I never had the need to use it, but it allows lazy loading, so we're going to use that. As I said, I'm not a big React kind of user. I use more Angular because I find things easier with Angular. But what I like about React is that it allows us to code actually better, to understand what everything is doing, and what everything, how to configure everything. So that is what I like about React. That is just regular JavaScript. So it allows us to understand better without worrying about making all the changes for ourselves in the UI. Okay, so that is what I like about React, and Angular makes everything simpler, and we have everything in one place in the framework. So, but yeah, this is really cool. I like React. So I forgot what I was saying. So the routes we don't need now. Open. We have this, and this should work. What I was doing. Okay, so this is going to. Oh yeah, I was talking about suspense. About fuck that. We're going to have a tutorial later for that. So yeah, you can see that we have no access now because we're checking for the current user value, And remember, we're able to check this because we are setting an observable, okay, and it's going to have this stream of data that we can check. So we're going to now add inside this add post. I already have all this set title and set content added, okay, so we don't have to set those things, the form and whatever. So we can work inside this, and we're going to say after this we're going to set a new not user, what the hell, it doesn't even say user, post title and content, that are the things that we're going to add, okay. But let's save this and let's actually see. That is what I was going to check. 1 2 3 4 5 6 and login. Okay, didn't I change this? And login. Oh, I just set the nav. Sorry if I'm I'm kind of lost, but I just took some pills. I got this pain in my lower back that I get sometimes after working out, and you know, it tends to, I can't remember the word. It hurts my joints. So sometimes, not always, but also because the weather is kind of, you know, chill or kind of chilly, it's like that's what is bothering me. So we are going to go to the login, and if I seem kind of lost, it's because it takes some more time for my brain to start thinking. So email equals, so now we have the email and password, and we're going to start adding this. And also I didn't want to I have another React tutorial that I want to add, and that's why I'm kind of recording with this after taking the pills, but fuck it, this should go okay. If not, you can always ask me if you don't get something, but I will try to explain this console.log. So login user, just to say something, and after this, let me move my mouse. We're going to say let out, no add to, but out equals to await, because this is an async function, await authentication service that I have this login. I didn't add that. Seems that okay. Oh yeah, because I'm kind of fucking lost, because yeah, I didn't work with the login. I'm fucking stupid. Email and password. So we have this, and we're going to wait for that. We can also say console.log out, so you can see what is coming from that. It should be either the error or the response redirect to true, to actually redirect, and else this is checking if those two are null or are empty. Just a basic, pretty basic validation there. And let's remove this. Else, if these things are empty, we're just going to console need to fill the credentials and that. So this should allow us to make the call 1 2 3 4 5 6 login, and you can see the token is being displayed in several places, but this is the response that I got. HTTP localhost 3000, okay, and that is the first response. That's why we the first request for the token. That's why when we request, we don't send the authentication. I'm sorry, the authorization header Okay, in case you are kind of wondering about that, we can see the email and password. Okay, those are the things that we are expecting to be. So now we can do this, and okay, if I refresh, you will see what I was talking about, that this takes less or half a second to render, to be shown, to be displayed, and that removes that annoying thing that you can see the sign in login and then it re-renders. Okay, that's a little trick you can do. As I said, I'm not a big React. I know how to work with React, but I'm not a. I don't know all the bits. No. So in case there's something better than this, let me know, comment, and I will take a look at that and show you, or show the people that don't know about it. So we already have the token. So we have the token. We can even come here to the application, local storage, access token, and this is the token. You can see that the token retrieves this token, okay, or shows this token, and that is what we are sending, the token and the information. And let's go to actually add the functionality here so we can test what happens if we don't send the token or if we are not authenticated first. So we are now in the main, and this should be this is okay, and this is done, and this is actually done. This is the main. So let's continue. So here we're going to say constant headers equals await out header, out header. This is a function. We need to wait for this to respond because it's going to check if this is valid and respond with this object. That's why I said you can also add another other headers here in case you need them, because this is going to go inside the constant options that is an object. And I'm just going to, well, let's say method post headers. Instead of saying headers, adding that, we're going to say headers. That is already resolved. Remember, we're using async await, so this is already resolved here on line 31. And the body, that is going to be JSON stringify and the post. And after that, we can remove this. Sorry, this is not like that. In any case, it's a comma. And what we're going to do is we can console the post, but let's not do that. I'm going to fetch. I am just going to copy this. We're going to return this the response from the fetch. We're going to pass the options, okay, that has the headers, and that's it. So in this case, we don't have well, let's just do this. So it allows us, even if we don't have the token, so you can see what is going to happen. I log out. I can now access that, and let's say, okay, we have this response. You can see what we have, and you will see what happens. So let's say second post, whatever, create post, okay, and console is going to respond with HTTP localhost 8000 post create response 403 forbidden response, and this is the response that actually is getting from the Node API, okay, and you can see that here it's not showing anything because let's go back here. Let's take a look at the create post. Let's go back and go to post.js. So in case we don't have the authorization header, we're going to respond with the status 403 and a message that is not authorized. Okay. So this is what is responding. And let's remove that, remove the comments, and now we don't have access unless we sign in. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, login, second post, whatever, create post, and it's only going to display, but you can see we don't have any error. It's going to display and you can see here the authorization. In the other one, we didn't have the authorization, or even though it even didn't even display that, it just sends the error. So you can see what we have: the authorization with the bearer and the token, and we're responding with this. You can see, okay, in any case, let's test that again. So you can see, let's say whatever, create post. Oh, because we have, sorry, we need to log out because the token is still stored there. And yep, you can see forbidden, and this is the new one. Okay, origin from localhost 3000, and we don't have the authentication header. We can see the content type though. So yeah, let me just get this thing ready again, and that should be it. So we cannot access that anymore. Let's test this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 again, and you can see we have the token, and we can send again. Let's say post updated, whatever, create post. We don't get any error, and second post updated, content, blah 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 blah, blah. User, my user, and the expiration, and that's it. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. In case you have a doubt, whatever, let me know. So now you can implement JWT tokens using RxJs. You can see that RxJs isn't that bad. Okay, let's go back to the out. Isn't that bad? It allows us to have the to share, better said, a property, okay, and to keep an eye on that, so we can change the state depending on that. That's it. So yeah, I hope you liked it, and see you in the next one.